Episode number 145 of What Does This Button Do? It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets with us, Geeks on Tour. Our beginner's lesson today is Google Photos, questions answered. But first, Chris has a quick tip. What is it, Chris?
Hey, I want to show people about a new feature in Google Photos called Favorites. What you do is you click the little star and it will then go to a favorites album automatically. Now, if you see a heart instead of a star, that's like, not favorite. You can only star pictures and videos that have not yet been shared. Once they're shared, you can only like them and they don't go into that favorites album. When you want to see your favorites, you just click on the album section and it should be right there under favorites. So I want to show you how.
Right.
So this is I'm going to show you on my iPad, and I click the Google Photos and let's find a picture. Oh, how about this one right here? This is my handsome husband receiving an award at our Toastmasters group this week. I think that's a favorite. He's certainly my favorite. I just tapped the little star and it is now added to favorites. Can't see that. Let's see.
There you go.
Added to favorites, and you tap on done. Now, if I want to see my favorites, I have to get back out of viewing that. And now I can tap on albums, and there's my favorites. And there is the picture of Jim, along with some others that I have already tagged as favorites. And that's my tip.
Very cool.
It is. It is. Well, it's to be expected. It's what we had in Picasa for
years ago, yeah.
And what most all other, but it's way cool to now have it in Google Photos. So that, and it gives me hope for the other things
Very
that
cool.
I want.
All right. Well, I'm Jim, and here together with my wife, Chris, we are Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your iPhone or your iPad or your Android or any of these devices? And how do you learn about these amazing devices?
Well, we are geeks, also known as propeller heads, who teach. And we think the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So we come up with a new lesson every week, and you can sign up for the newsletter to get that lesson in email by going to our website, geeksontour.com.
Very cool. So, Chris, where are we now?
We're home, but our RV is in Michigan. We had to.
We came home for vacation. That seems to be kind of crazy, but that's what we do. We travel around the country, and sometimes other countries. Our background today, we were in Italy last year about this time.
1 year ago, exactly. That's
pretty
where
cool.
We were. All right. When we're home, one of our favorite things to do is go to our Toastmasters club. So that's a picture of me at Toastmasters. Can you tell what I'm speaking about?
Hard to believe.
I teach everybody I run into about Google Photos.
All right. So our beginner's lesson today are your Google Photos questions answered. We did
We're traveling around Europe here.
Chris made a post last week and asked for your questions for this show. And we got a lot of questions, some really good ones too. So we want to go through some of those and see if we get the right answers. What do you think?
Yeah, we got some answers. And if anybody watching wants to ask a question, you can put it in that chat there and we'll try to get to it.
Okay.
First, I want to tell you about the resources at Geeks on Tour for understanding Google Photos. First of all, there's a book. I wrote a book called Mrs. Geek's Guide to Google Photos, and it is in process of being updated right now.
We're in the editing phase. We got it back from the editors. Now we're re-editing or going through all of those edits and trying to catch
Yes, thank you, Greg Gambone. He did my
Yes.
editing, and now I'm adding. So that's actually one reason why we're doing this show today. I wanted to get people's questions as I updated the book to see if I answered them in the book. And I can tell from the questions that there's a couple things that I do need to
work
add.
on. Right. Some of those questions I thought were just no-brainers, but maybe not.
So hopefully in a few weeks, the new edition will be available on Amazon. But right now we keep the ebook on our website a little more up to date. You can get that by going to our store, or if you are a premium member, it's included with membership. So that's the book. Then if you're a member, you have a Q&A forum. Actually, anybody can read the questions and answers on our Q&A page, but only members can ask a question. Secondly, on our website, we have short tutorial videos, number 1 through 519. Most of these are for members only. Articles. On our blogs and news page, there are literally hundreds of articles because we write for every monthly newsletter, and these are free for all. And then fourth, these What Does This Button Do show, we make written notes. So you can see episode 1 through 145. Those are free. They're all listed on our website. If you are a member, you also get show notes. All right. So now I'm ready to go to questions.
All right. How do you get photos taken on a Samsung Galaxy 8 from Gallery to Google Photos automatically? That's without having to select them, tap share, and tap upload to Google Photos.
So you see why I put this question first? I wanted to make sure I got this one answered.
Because it says we love your show. I've learned a lot from listening to you.
Flattery gets you everywhere.
That's right.
Okay, Ed and Deanna. And that is what chapters 1 and 2 in the book are all about. The number one purpose of Google Photos is to upload the photos from your phones to the cloud in your Google account. So all you need is to install the Google Photos app and turn it on. That's its job, is to get them from your phone and realize they're not in Gallery, okay? Your photos are on your phone. Google Photos is a replacement for Gallery. Both Gallery and Google Photos see the photos that your phone took. And Google Photos' job is to get them up in the cloud. The only thing you need is to know your Google account, email, and password.
Very important to know that password. I have Google Photos, and when I open up the app, I see my photos. Yay! If I tap the free up space command, it gives me the message, delete 399 items. Sure, I want to free up some space, but where can I recall those photos 1 month or even a year down the road? Until I'm certain I can get my photos back, I'm not throwing anything away.
First of all, Ken, I say good for you.
Right.
You need to understand where your photos are before you go removing them from anywhere. But the free up space is a good thing. What happens is you take pictures with your phone, right? And they start filling up the space on your phone. Google Photos' job is to get those photos from your phone and put them in the cloud. When you're looking at the Google Photos app, you see the photos in the cloud. So it is okay to delete them off your phone. Except, I want to just take you through the numbers here. You take the picture on your phone. How many copies of your pictures do you have? One. Google Photos uploads them, makes a copy online in the cloud to your Google Photos account. How many copies do you have now?
2.
That's good. That's a backup. Now, if you use free up space and delete them from the wrong finger. How many copies do you have?
That was good.
Only
One.
one, and you're screwed. Yeah. So if you care about your photos, like I can tell you do need to make another copy somewhere else before you use that free up space command. I use Microsoft's OneDrive as a second cloud copy, or you can plug your phone into your computer and get a copy of them on your computer directly.
Not a bad idea. All right. I'm a longtime Google user, so I have a great deal on 94 gigabytes of their online storage. But alas, it is now full of photos and videos. I now have other cloud providers with greater capacity at a more favorable price. My question is twofold. How do I quickly, easily, and painlessly delete those Google stored photos? And how can I prevent that drive from filling up again?
Okay, so the two questions. But first of all, it sounds to me like you're talking about Google Drive, because if you uploaded photos to Google Drive, that is what takes up space. That's where you need to buy more space. Photos uploaded directly to Google Drive are at full size, and they count against the 15 gigabytes of free storage that Google gives you for all of your products. If you uploaded to Google Photos at high quality, those photos simply do not count. That's how we get to that unlimited. Now, the first thing to try, I mean, in case I'm wrong here and you didn't upload directly to Google Drive, you might be able to recover that storage. Maybe you were just uploading it original size and you can retroactively shrink them down to the high quality. And we have a little video to show you about that.
We do?
We do. That's
Which
number
one?
486.
Okay.
Hi, this is Chris Gould, and this is a quick tip about recovering your Google Drive storage from Google Photos. If I look here, it tells me that Google Photos is using up 1 gigabyte of storage space, but I think I'm always using high quality, and therefore that should not be using up any space. Let's see if I can recover this. So I go to photos.google.com, click the 3-line menu and settings and recover storage. That if there was a time when I mistakenly was using original quality, then this should retroactively convert that to high quality. Recover 1 gigabyte of drive storage by compressing photos and videos from original to high quality. Compress. Compressing your photos may take over an hour. Ooh. So I'll pause the video here to see how long it takes.
If there's a lot, I've heard of that taking days.
Or actually, I don't know how long it took because I went to bed. Let's see how it did. We'll go to Drive and take a look at the left-hand side here and what it says we're using in our storage. 10 gigabytes of 17, and Google Photos now says 0 bytes. So that is how you get back some storage that was mistakenly used by original size photo.
Okay.
Hi, this is Chris Gould, and this is a quick...
Well, sorry about that.
Shut her up. But like I said, that very likely is not your situation. So let me show you your two questions were how to get them out of Drive so they don't no longer take up the space, and then how to put them back up without taking up space. So I want to show you my Google Drive. So I go to Drive. And one thing has changed since that video also. Down here on the left-hand side, under storage, it no longer shows me immediately what my 3 parts are. But if you click where it says 10 gigabytes of 17 used, number one, it will show you everything that is taking up the space. So you might find that it's something else in Drive and not photos that are taking up the space, but very likely it is. When you click on upgrade storage, now it gives you the ability to view details, and you can see what is taking up your storage. And notice in my case, I only have a tiny bit by Google Photos now. To delete, so if I go back, so if you find, yes, indeed, I have a ton of photos in Drive that need to be deleted, you can, so for example, in here, Melinda Horses, if I click on one of these, I can see in the eye and details that that is taking up storage. It's 17 kilobytes, and the storage uses, you know, if I delete that folder, I can delete that whole folder, and Google Drive works like you expect it, like a computer. If I delete that whole folder, it deletes all the contents of the folder. So that would be, you would have to find the folders that have it and delete the folders. Then use the Google Backup and Sync next time to upload all your pictures from your computer to your Google Drive, and make sure to check the box for high quality. Then they'll all be re-uploaded and they will not take up any space. You won't be using any of your storage.
Cool. I do not want the new Google Backup and Sync feature, as I prefer to manually control what's uploaded to my iMac to Google Photos. So I didn't download it when it was offered. Nevertheless, whenever I turn on my computer, it starts to back up pictures until I rush to turn it off. How do I get it to stop this?
Well, first I want to make sure you know the icon, because if it's backing up, the only thing that does that now is the Google Backup and Sync.
From a computer.
From a computer. From a computer, it's the Google Backup and Sync. On a Mac, it's that little cloud with the up arrow in it, and you'll see it at the top of your screen on the right-hand side. Now, if you rush to turn it off, you must already know that, because that's where you turn it off. If you go into there, the preferences, you will see a setting that says open on system startup. So if you turn it off, it will not restart the next time. And you if you don't want to use it, you can uninstall it. Just uninstall the Google Backup and Sync app from your Mac. And we do have a video, number 392, that shows how to uninstall an app from Mac.
All right. All my pictures are organized in folders and subfolders. How is this handled in Google Photos?
It's not. Sorry. If you really need those folders and subfolders in your cloud version, you won't like Google Photos, because it just...
those files and folders are still on your computer. That doesn't change when you start using Google Photos.
Right.
But Google Photos, the way that it stores your pictures in its library online, is just by chronological order.
So Google Photos is a whole new animal. We have to change our mindset to understand that we're not working with organizing in folders and subfolders. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, the way you organize with Google Photos is with albums.
With albums, yeah. But I want them to see this again. So realize Google Photos' job is to get the pictures from all of your devices. So how can it maintain folders and subfolders when it brings up your phone's photos? What folder is it going to put them in? So what it does is acts like a vacuum cleaner.
I like that.
It just vacuums up all the photos. It does not maintain any structure. And then, yes, you need to learn about albums in Google Photos to make your own groupings.
That's the fun part anyway.
Yeah.
Can you put Google albums in alphabetical or date-added order? I'm always scrolling through the list.
You and me both, Tim.
All of us, Tim.
That has been my #1 request every time I meet with any Google representatives. And it's been it's been 3 years now.
So what can they do?
So I do want everybody, right now, open up Google Photos, click the 3-line menu, and down at the bottom, there's send feedback. If everybody asks for sorting albums, and I also want to be able to favorite, to star albums. Those are the 2 features I want. Right now, no. Albums are a bit of a mess. They know it. It will come one of these days, but been waiting a while.
She'll keep trying, though.
I will.
So I'm using Snapseed to add text to my photos on Google. If I take pics with my iPhone, is there a quicker way to add text and that picture will be picked up by Google? Adding text works, but it makes me miss Picasa.
Yeah, don't we all miss Picasa? I actually still do download pictures to my computer so that I can use Picasa for collages and text. But I like the way Snapseed makes it look, so that's still good. But on the iPhone, if you use the iPhone's native Photos app, it has a way to add text. And if you add text and save it there, that is the picture that Google Photos will see. So if that saves time for you, go for it.
All right. I love the little movies I find in the Assistant. Can I make my own?
Absolutely. This is so much fun.
Right.
And we have a little video, number 499.
Right.
Hi, this is Chris Gold with Geeks on Tour, and I want to show you one of my favorite things about Google Photos. I can make little movies so easy. You just open up the Google Photos app, and here are all of my pictures. I happen to have gone to a beautiful park the other day, and I want to make a movie of the pictures and video clips that I took. I just long press on the first one that I want, and notice the check mark. Now I can just tap on multiple pictures and little video clips. And every time I tap on one, it gets selected and it will be included in my movie. I now have 12 pieces selected, both photos and video clips. All I do now is tap on the little plus and tell Google Photos, make me a movie. And it takes those 12 pieces, adds music. All I have to do is tap save. And I now have a beautiful little movie that I can send to friends, share on Facebook. Is that quick and easy and sweet, or what?
And you can edit those afterwards as well if you decide to change something around. But the movies are sweet.
They are cute. I do that a lot. So how do I get Google Photos on my computer and then print them?
Well, for one, you might be able to print just from your web browser. If you're on the computer and you see your pictures in the web browser, the 3-dot menu, the upper one, the one for the browser, has a print menu. Google Photos does not. Other than printing a book, Google Photos doesn't print directly. I have found that Snapfish can get your Google Photos, so you don't have to download for Snapfish. And Printicular is an app that will send your Google Photos straight to Walgreens for printing. But if you want to download them, that's easy too. Open up the photo you want to print, 3-dot menu, Google Photos, 3-dot menu, and you will see download. and you can select multiple pictures and download. The only difference is the result with multiple pictures will be a zip file, but easily done.
When one clicks on the 3 lines on top left of a photo on iPhone, several choices come up: Info, Add to Album, Open in Snapseed, and Archive. I've never clicked on that last choice as I'm uncertain where my photo will go and how will I ever get it back. I imagine the photo being sent somewhere deep into the library of archived pictures, never to be seen again. So what does Archive actually do?
Well, if you use Gmail and you use the archive there, then that gives you the same philosophy. It just gets them out of your main stream. This one is easiest to just show. So I'm going to go on to the computer, and this archive is available on Android, iPhone, and web on computer. So if I just go to the computer and go to Google Photos, you'll see that I do have a few photos here right in the beginning that I took at Best Buy the other day. I just wanted to remember a couple things and prices about some products I saw when we were at Best Buy. Well, I don't really want, and here's also a couple of screenshots. I don't really want those along with the photos of all of my memories. So, but I don't want to delete them. So this archive means select the ones that you just don't want to see in your main photo library, and 3-dot menu and archive. Now, if I searched for Best Buy or product or stuff, anything that would have resulted in those photos, I will still see them. They are specifically visible by going to the menu and archive. So think of it just kind of like the back room. All of your pictures, and these I have predated. There we go. So there are the ones that I just archived. I use it a lot for screenshots, or pictures of things that you just don't want other people to normally see. So that's what archive is. Just get them out of my main photo library.
All right. Richard has a question. I had a me album, but don't see it anymore, and he didn't delete it.
If you mean if a me is something that you specifically created, so it was a manually created named album, then it certainly should still be there. Now, if you have a lot of albums, I know I can go kind of bug-eyed looking through them all. Do you know about search? I mean, if you search, I'll just search for me and mine won't. Then on the first auto complete list, you will see albums. This little emblem here means albums. Any album that has ME in it. Now, if it is gone and you didn't delete it, I don't have an answer for you. Yeah, that shouldn't. That's not intended behavior.
Unintended behavior. Okay. So I have at least 1,000 photos taken with 5 different cameras over the last 20 years. All are JPEG format and all are on a single Windows drive. Yes, he does have backups.
Very good.
I do need to eliminate duplicates, group by events, vacations, families. There's plenty of overlap there. I fear that if I upload the photos, I can accept the reduction in resolution, and it's really not a, no.
It's not a reduction in resolution, just
right,
in size.
In size. Things will get hopelessly scrambled. Please suggest a plan of attack, Jack.
I'll bet he means 10,000, not 1,000. You think?
That would not be very many, yeah.
Yeah. First of all, when you upload them all, they won't be scrambled. They will be in date order. So most events happened on a date. Yes. So, but you're right. It will not maintain your folders that are grouped by events or your vacation. You would need to manually go afterwards, select those and make an album. But here is a plan of attack. If you're willing to do a little bit of work, you can manually drag those folders up to Google Photos to upload them. When you do it that way, at the end of uploading all the pictures to that folder, it does ask you, would you like to make an album of these? So there's my plan of attack. Manually upload folder by folder, automatically then make an album of each folder, then turn on Google Backup and Sync, which will vacuum up all the rest of them. It will not duplicate ones that you already uploaded.
And don't worry about duplicates.
And don't worry about, yeah. You have unlimited space. You're going to look at your albums. There won't be duplicates in albums.
I can download photos from Google Photos to my computer individually, but I can't find a way to do larger numbers of them. I tried to download an album, and that doesn't seem to be possible either. Is there no way to do that?
First, I want to mention that Pam is a premium member, and she asked this question on our website in the Q&A forum. So I've already answered her there, and she has her answer. And if you're a member, you can do that at any time. The answer is you can select multiple photos and then download them. Or you can select a whole album. If you just open an album and then choose the three-dot menu and download, that will download all photos from the album. They will become a zip file. So you have to know how to unzip, but that's not hard.
How do you scan old photos to Google Photos and have them in chronological order from when they were taken? Good question.
So what you're asking is, can you manipulate the date? When you scan a photo, or the way I do it, I just take my phone and take a snapshot of pictures in an album. You can tweak them a little bit in Google Photos. They come out great. But what date do they have? They have the date that I snapped it. In Google, right in Google Photos, you can change dates. And I'll show you that.
All right.
So, and this is on the computer or on the iOS. The Android, for some reason, doesn't have this yet. So let's say that I want this picture to have a different date. I just make sure I'm seeing the info. So if you're not, how do you see that? On the computer, there's a little eye. On the phones, you have to go to the three-dot menu, and then you'll see an eye. So the eye means info. Notice here by the date, there's a pencil. So if you just tap that pencil, you can make it be any date you want. So I have pictures of my great-grandparents, and I put in 1890s for them. While we're here, I just need to mention, this is something pretty new in Google Photos. You can also edit the location.
Right. That is brand new.
That is brand new. Don't get too excited. It must be a location that is in its database. So you have to search for something. It can't be just a GPS coordinates.
Okay.
The last thing to know about those dates is it doesn't actually become part of the metadata of the picture itself. Data. Yeah. It's just goes to Google Photos database. So the info that Google Photos has about that photo will have the new date.
Right.
If you download that picture to your computer, it won't have that. Last time I checked, anyway.
All right. Is there a way to attach photos from Google Photos to an email? I've always had to download them to my computer first.
Well, I think you just need to start doing them a different way. Instead of starting an email and then wanting to attach a picture, the way it works now is you open the picture and then you just click the share button and put in an email address.
And that should work. But, we do most of our emailing, it seems, from a device, a mobile device, phones and tablets, and now Chromebooks. But yeah, if you're doing it from a computer, that is the way we used to do it. Now we just go the other way around. So
yeah, just like I say, you still
twist it
just have to
around.
stand on our heads to see the new way of doing things. But if you really do want to open an email first, I don't know what email you're using. If you're using Gmail, there is a little button for add an image, and what's Gmail? It's Google, so it gets the images. It
all tends to work
from your
pretty
Google
well together.
Photos.
Yeah. My iPhone takes pictures in high efficiency.
Image, I don't know what to see.
High
efficiency image
format. When I download them to my computer, I can't see them. What to do?
Well, yeah, if you've noticed that with the last, time before last update to iOS, they changed the default photo format. HEIC is a new, it's about time.
Right.
JPEGs have been around for.
JPEG is a compression algorithm. This is just a better one.
HEIC is a better format. It keeps all the resolution in a smaller package. But Apple phones, Apple mobile devices are the only ones using them right now. So it's a bit of a compatibility issue. And I did write an article about it. If you go to, in fact, let me show you that. If you go to our website and you go to all articles under blogs and news, you will see a link to all Google Photos articles, and then you can find the Google Photos article about HEIC. But my little tip, so that's how you can find the article. My little tip is if you edit the HEIC photo and save it, when you download it, that will be a JPEG. So that's the quick and dirty way to convert an HEIC to a JPEG. Just edit it. Just click the auto or anything. And then when you download it, it will be a JPEG. Google Photos can see HEICs, but it can only write JPEGs. So if you just edit it with Google Photos, download it, it'll be a JPEG. Cool. Or change the setting in your phone. That's what the article talks about, so that it takes old JPEGs rather than new HEICs.
Give it a try. When I've taken 500 or so pictures, the easiest way to look through all 500 exposures, looking for maybe 5 of the best ones, just the keepers out of 500 shots. I think this was from a game camera. He was shooting, and it's just
so it's set up in the woods, and
right.
It takes hundreds of pictures, right. And you only have a couple of good ones.
Only have a few that are really good. The 500 will end up in Google Photos before he can get them culled. He's currently shutting off the router before inspecting the SD card. When I'm through, I may have 10 cards to look through it a couple times a week, a lot of disk cards. Then I plug in the router to save a few. Is there a better way?
Yes, there is. You don't have to turn off your router. What I would do, you can just pause the backup and sync. If you click on backup and sync, you should see a pause right there, so it won't upload. But better yet, I say to make a folder just for the good ones, and in the backup and sync settings, tell it to back up that folder and not the main folder. And you can do that. You can specify which folders that backup and sync will get.
Good point. How do I make an animation?
Sorry.
How do I make an animation, Bill?
Well, first you need to know what an animation looks like. And here I have a click straight through to the article. Sure. And so here's the article I wrote. I took a bunch of pictures of fireworks. You select them, click the plus, choose animation, and that's what you get. Is that cute or what?
Way cool.
Yeah. So it's select the pieces, click the plus up in the upper right, and choose animation. That's it. I remember taking a 2-day class years ago on how to make animated GIFs.
Right.
Now I can tell you how to do it in 2 seconds. Where's... How do I get back?
You're lost.
I'm lost. I thought that might happen. Where'd it go? Here we
I
go.
think you have to go back.
There we
you
go.
are.
Okay.
Google Photos is just a pretty awful app to deal with. Fortunately, Picasa 3 has reappeared and is now downloadable.
Well, I, of course, don't think that Google Photos is awful, but I can see if you're trying to use it like you used Picasa, it would not just be awful, it would be terrible because it just doesn't do the same things. Like I said, you have to change your way of thinking if you want to use Google Photos. But Picasa 3 is retired software. It is not available from Google officially. We do have a downloadable copy of it, and maybe you're finding a legitimate downloadable copy of the installation files.
But we have seen some that are not legitimate and maybe even dangerous.
I would be suspicious. And if you think that you're going to be able to use Picasa and email or upload to the web, any interaction with the web has been shut down as of just a few weeks ago.
Right. So no more uploads from Picasa.
Picasa still works with the photos on your computer just fine, making collages, adding text, but then you need to know how to get them uploaded back to Google Photos.
All right. Let's see if there are any other questions here. Let's see. How to tell when a photo is in an album when you review all the photos? Is there any indication on there that says that there is a...
That's another one that would be nice.
Yeah.
So the answer is no, but
there is no indication on a photo in your library that it's in an album.
Right. But there is one way. Let me see. Let me find one that I know isn't. Yeah, looking through your library, there is no way. But if you pick up a picture, I'm sure I put that one in, House with Curtis, then nope, I guess I didn't. You will see an indication. Let me just go to albums so I know that I'm getting a picture that is in an album. And over on the right, you see, so this one photo I have put into 4 different albums, and they do all show up here. So in the info for a particular picture, you can see what albums it's in. But in your library, no, there is none.
And Richard wants to know, how do you delete duplicate photos without having to do it individually?
Sorry.
There are some tools out there that will search through a folder of pictures, and if there is an exact duplicate, it will flag it for you to check. The issue seems to be that people take 50 photos of a beautiful sunset, and you have 50 separate pictures in that case, although many of them look exactly the same. Those are not duplicates. Those are 50 individual pictures. You get duplicates from moving them around on your drive. Your phone or your device does not take and upload duplicate pictures. Google will not upload
the exact same picture a second time.
It can't.
Now, if you want to eliminate duplicates while they're on your computer, Picasa has a tool that at least helps with that, lets you see all the duplicates on one screen. And we do have videos on how to use that. But as far as once they're in the cloud, Google Photos, no.
Yeah. There are, really no true duplicates there, although they might look exactly the same. There is some
No,
difference.
I have seen
Well,
true duplicates.
well,
but
not normally.
no.
It just, that's what happens. All right. Well, we do invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would be a good thing. Just go to YouTube and like us on Facebook. Our app of the week. This is something that we're going to be looking at this next week when we take our trip to Grand Cayman and our dive trip. We'll be making a lot of videos. I take a lot of underwater videos when we're there. And this is an app that runs on iOS and on Android. I'll be doing it on my Chromebook because I got a new Chromebook this week. We'll be talking about that in a future episode. But it's a big screen and it runs the Play Store apps, so I can do editing with Snapseed and take pictures, and it's really pretty cool. So WeVideo is the video editor that I want to try and learn to use while we're on this trip.
Now it has a free version, but the free version is very limited capability, and it puts a WeVideo stamp on it, a watermark.
Right.
So if you want to get rid of that, you have to get at least the first level of pay for, but that's only $60 a year.
Yeah, $5 a month. Sounds like a great deal to me. Almost like a Geeks on Tour membership, huh? You can do that.
So we will be reporting back. This looks really good, but we haven't used it much.
Okay, Richard says, it seems like if I edit a photo on my phone, it saves a duplicate, one with the edit and one original. How do I save to replace the original with the edited photo?
Are you using an SD card? It might, if you are, then my story is that Google Photos doesn't write to your SD card. So it's only writing to the cloud copy. So you are seeing both the SD card copy and the cloud copy. And similar with Snapseed, when Snapseed opens a Google Photos picture, it opens a copy. So it's been my experience anyway that I have no way of editing with Snapseed and ending up with only one photo.
Right. You have the original and you have a copy. So if you do only save the Snapseed, if you're happy with the Snapseed edits, you can delete the original and make sure that the Snapseed folder, at least on the Android, Snapseed files get uploaded to your Google Photos. All right. So Richard does say, yes, it sounds like when you asked about the SD card.
Yeah. SD cards cause all sorts of weird things.
Yeah,
so
it really does.
I stopped using mine for photos.
Oh, yeah. So it is an Android. You couldn't have an SD card on an Apple anyway.
Right.
And remember to update the cards for the Geeks on Tour membership. Thanks, Bill.
Bill, a.k.a. Olive Cousins there. We love you.
Yeah. All right. So that's our app of the week and what we're going to be doing next. Well, are we going to do these?
Yeah.
All right.
I still came up with review questions.
True or false? Google Photos is simply a cloud-based version of photo managers you used on a computer.
False, false, false. It's a whole new world out there, folks.
And it's all about mobile devices.
And cloud.
True or false? You need the backup and sync app for Google Photos to work on your computer.
False, false, false. You do not. In fact, I only used it when I first had my 50,000 pictures of backlog that were on my computer. I needed to get up to the cloud. After that, I don't need backup and sync. Anything I need to put up, I'll do manually.
If you can select the sort order of albums by date of photos, alphabet, date created, or you can't do it.
You can't do it.
I think we already said that. After archiving photos, you won't see them in search results, in photo library, or you'll never see them again.
It's just in the photo library. They show up every other place and specifically in the archive.
All right. Can you use Picasa to upload, download to Google Photos?
Not as of just a few weeks ago, or maybe it was a couple months.
Yeah.
That feature has been turned
They
off.
turned off all the connectivity to the web in the Picasa program. True or false? If your photos are in Google Photos, you have a backup.
Maybe yes and maybe no.
If you've cleaned them off of your phone after they've been uploaded to Google Photos, there's only one copy, and one copy is not a backup. You need it somewhere else. And why do people pay $58 a year or roughly $5 a month to join Geeks on Tour, Chris?
Because they like us. Because they like technology and like to learn. Because they want to ask questions and get answers on our Q&A page. To gain the access to our hundreds of tutorial videos, learning guides, and ebooks. To get the written notes from these weekly shows. And a lot of people do just pay us to say thank you for all the free training they get from us.
Excellent.
Go to geeksontour.com and there's a button right there to become a member, or the URL is join now.
All right. Is this up to date?
Yeah.
Okay. Live show next week, probably.
Yeah, we don't leave until Tuesday or Wednesday.
Right.
So we are still here on Sunday. We will probably do a live show.
And we love to do shows. We don't have a topic picked yet, but I'm sure we'll come up with something. Watch for the follow-up Gabbing with the Geeks on Thursday.
I think we'll do that.
Okay. And anyway, I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour. Keep pushing those buttons, and we'll see you next time.
What is this button? Just keep asking. What does this button do? How about this one?
Don't touch that button.
Let's try this button.
Don't. Oh, Chris, don't touch that button. Oh, my
God.